morning, Mama Muffins. It's Sharie. I'm here to talk to you about being knocked up. So I've been talking for every video that I'm gonna film my must-haves for each trimester. I'm finally doing it. I put on a little bit of makeup. I know, it makes such a difference. You guys are so impressed. But I wanted to kind of share my experience with the different trimesters. And again, they're all different for every person. Your body is different, your baby is different, your needs are different. But these are just some tips and tricks that have worked for moi. And so I thought I would share them because it's always worth a try, because who doesn't want to be more comfortable? And let's be honest, when you're pregnant, your body's doing weird things and you're getting bigger in weird places and you need a little comfort. So of course we're gonna start out with the first trimester because it comes first. Otherwise it would be called the not first trimester. The first trimester is kind of what I feel like is the most person individual because everyone deals with sickness and sick feelings differently. So what works for me might not work for you, but there are a couple of things that I think are universal and can really help you out when you're feeling like you are gonna die. So my first thing is carbs. Now this could be, again, this could be just my experience, but when my stomach doesn't feel good and I feel like no foods are good to me, I just want carbs. So like crackers, saltine crackers, and I ate a whole lot of bagels and cereal and things that I could just easily grab that were light, not very, what is that word? Seasoned? They just don't have a lot of flavor. Bland. Go for bland. Bland carbs are your friend. So I ate like Cheerios and saltines and bagels and toast and things like that, just to sort of settle my stomach because I knew that I was hungry, but I didn't want to eat something heavy because then I would probably puke. And that's another thing is, even though you don't want to eat, your brain is like, hey, we feel really sick, you should not eat any food. Eat something small, because the hungrier you actually are, the more nauseous you're gonna be. So carbs are your friend. Just get over the whole diet myth. You're gonna get round anyway. Eat a bagel. I'll have to insert a picture of this next item because I ate all of them, so I can't show you the package. But luckily, my sickness one was not in the morning. I got sick in the afternoons, and I never threw up. But that's also because I have a phobia of throw up, my own and other people's. So I know a lot of ways to keep myself from throwing up. I will do anything in the world to not vomit. This really worked for me. I hope it works for you. We shall see. I didn't throw up at all during this pregnancy, not even once. And this was one of the things that really, like, if you feel like you're on the verge, this knocks it out in an instant. Now I know you've all heard that ginger is a natural depukifier. It makes you not nauseous. But I'm not a huge fan of ginger as a flavor anyway, and then a lot of like the ginger suckers and stuff like that just weren't strong enough, and so I was really just forcing myself to eat this nasty ginger flavor that I didn't like, and it did absolutely nothing for me. So I interneted and found these things called ginger chews. Now I found mine at Whole Foods, but you can also order them online, and they have different strengths. So there's like a ginger chew, and then I think there's like a strong one, and then there's like a, you know, punchy in the face one. I got the medium one, so I got the strong one. I didn't really think it would work because ginger up to this point had not worked for me, but my husband and I were in Virginia. I had just started getting sick. I think I was in my 5th week, and I started to feel like, please save me, and we were out of town. So my husband's like, we're going to Whole Foods. And these things are disgusting. I'm not gonna lie, they are not delicious. They are not sweet. They are not like the ginger suckers and stuff like that. It is like a punch to the face with ginger. It's spicy. You gotta chew real fast because it's spicy. But when I say that it instantly stops you from being nauseous, I don't know if it's a spicy, like shocks your system. I don't know if it's a powerful ginger flavor that does it, but I mean, within like 45 seconds of swallowing it and being like, that was terrible, I felt no sickness. So I carried them around with me all the time in case I had an extreme nausea problem, because again, they're not delightful, but they work. On a lighter note for nausea, I always carried around those old school red and white peppermints. You can get a bag of them at the store for like $1. Peppermint is another natural nausea reliever, and so if I was going to be in the car, which I already have car sickness, so being in the car and being pregnant was kind of like a double whammy, I would just go ahead and pop a peppermint before we even started driving, and it just kind of helps calm things down before they get going. It's also a nice smell, so like when you open your mouth you can smell the peppermint, and that kind of keeps other smells from bothering you. So old school peppermints are a must. We went to a restaurant that had the little tiny ones, and I stole like 2 handfuls of them and kept them in my purse my whole first trimester. Thief! Along with things that make you less nauseous, a very common symptom is sensitivity to smells. I didn't really experience that unless we were in a restaurant, and it was always food related. And I could smell people's breath really good, which was unfortunate. But again, I got on the Googles and I was looking up things to help with scent sensitivities, and I found this genius thing that's actually cute. So here it is. I got this on Amazon. Again, anything that I've mentioned that you can't just like go out and get, I will have a link down below for you guys on Amazon, because Amazon is my best friend and I order it from it like weekly. It's real sad. But this is a essential oil infuser necklace. So it's kind of like a locket. So it's just a little locket, and they have different ones that you can get different things to insert in there, but mine came with little felt circles, and you just dab it with whatever essential oil that you want, and then the front is see-through so you can smell the smell. Mine has not been used in a while, so it doesn't smell like anything. But make sure you get a stainless steel one, because you don't want it to rust, because it is an essential oil. Also, you know, skin sensitivities. So I would do lemon or peppermint in this. Lemon was my favorite for some reason, like a nice citrus scent, especially in restaurants, just kind of cleared my passages. So even if I was talking to someone who probably didn't have bad breath, but I could smell it, I would just kind of play with it near my face, and I could smell the essential oils and not what was in front of me. And it's pretty long, so I could hide it under my shirt until I needed it. And it's just sort of comforting when you're feeling really nauseous and you're surrounded by garlic bread to smell some lemon. So yeah, so that's my 2 favorite essential oils for nausea is lemon and peppermint. And this was super helpful in my first trimester. I haven't used it since then, but it's pretty and it's nice to have. My next suggestion, tip, useful thing is pretty standard. Naps. Take naps, yo. If you are fortunate enough to not have to work full time, I've been a stay-at-home wifey for a couple years now. Girls, sleep. Don't let people be like, oh, in my first trimester I was cleaning my entire house with a toothbrush. Don't let them, no. Nap. If you don't feel good, if you're tired, you are making a life, yo. That's a lot of work. So lay down, put your feet up, take a rest. In 9 months, you're gonna be awake for hours on end. Screaming, baby. Sleep. Ginger ale, another sort of helpful thing. I would go ahead and have that in the afternoon. Again, not my favorite thing to drink, but not terrible. The fizziness is good. If you don't like ginger ale, you could do Sprite. Just something fizzy really settles your tummy. So like some fizzy drink and some saltines was like my afternoon happiness. Made me, like, I would usually take a nap after lunch, and then when I'd wake up is when I'd be sick. So before my feet hit the floor, I would have like a couple of saltines and a little bit of Sprite or ginger ale. And it would kind of put it at bay, or at least make it not as intense. So I definitely suggest you try some sort of fizzy ginger Sprite citrus drink. It helps. My next suggestion is to invest in some pre-made foods. When you're first trimester, you're exhausted. Like just being alive is exhausting. I've always suffered from fatigue because it's a symptom of my Crohn's disease, but I've never felt fatigue like this. Like, I would wake up tired. I would sleep 9 hours, nap twice, and still be tired. It's exhausting, that first trimester. So it's really good to have things on hand for you and your significant other that you can just easily just throw into something. Trader Joe's is your friend. I got a lot of pre-made dinners that were for 2 that I could just easily throw in the oven or put in the crock pot or put in the microwave. Just stuff that's easy, that even if you don't feel like eating, it's, you know, he can eat it. You know, just make your life as easy as possible. So if you have to do takeout, do takeout. If you have to get pre-made frozen foods, do that. Just make your life as easy as possible, because you're doing hard work, yo. You're a goddess. And the last thing is something I probably should have mentioned first, because it's the thing that you should start immediately upon finding out you're pregnant. But that's a quality prenatal vitamin. Yes, you need it. So I went with the Rainbow Light Prenatal 1 food-based vitamin. It's a little crunchier. It's plant-based, and it has lots of good stuffs in it. You only have to take 1 a day instead of like multiples. There were a couple that I saw where you had to take like 2 or 3 pills a day or something crazy like that. And they're not delightful, y'all. They're huge. They're like horse pills. So who wants to take that 3 times a day? And they smell. They stink. They smell like healthy that you don't want to eat. If I can do just one a day instead of 3, plus it's cheaper because I'm not taking 3 pills a day, your girl was about that life. So I bought the big container. This has lasted me my whole pregnancy, which means I haven't been taking them every day probably. But I went ahead and bought 2 because if you plan to breastfeed as well, you have to continue a prenatal when you breastfeed, which is what we're planning to do. So I'm going to be taking this for at least another 1.5 years maybe. So yeah, so this was really good. I like that it's only 1 pill. If you're having trouble with prenatals, some people say that the taste makes them nauseous. Try it with a cup of juice. Orange juice and apple juice were my go-tos. It kind of kills that herbal powder flavor in your mouth, which can make you sick. So you just put a little juice in your mouth, pop the pill, good to go. Another thing is they don't sit well in your stomach for some reason. I know, they just like to torture you when you're pregnant. So what I would do is take it at night before bed. So I would have a little cup of juice, take my prenatal, go lay down, and then by the time I was asleep and it was doing what it needed to do, I was sleeping through it. So if you're having trouble with a prenatal, it's really important to get that in. Take it at night if you're having trouble keeping it down, and definitely try the juice. Orange juice is the strongest, so if you really don't want to taste it, do orange juice, but apple juice works too. So that's all the things that helped me survive my first trimester of pregnancy. I've been keeping this list as each trimester goes through and adding things. Yeah, I mean, it's a battle, y'all. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you have any tips and tricks for first trimester mommies. Because again, everyone's different. Help each other out in the comments. And I'll see you guys in my second trimester video. Bye.